Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to do the camera review of the OnePlus 5T. So OnePlus 5T is the latest flagship device from OnePlus, and this is the successor of the OnePlus 5 announced a couple of months back. So this device comes with some interesting upgrades. One is the display, second is the camera. So on OnePlus 5 we had a dual camera setup. We have a wide angle camera as well as a 20 megapixel telephoto lens. So that was a combination on the OnePlus 5. But now with the 5T, OnePlus has made some changes. So instead of the telephoto lens, we have the regular lens. So the primary camera is a 16 megapixel shooter, f-stop 1.7 aperture. And the secondary camera here again is a wide angle lens with f-stop 1.7 that helps in low light photography. So that's the improvement on the OnePlus 5T. So there is also previously on the OnePlus 5 you get to see the 2x optical zoom, but here we have an zoom. 2x zoom is included in the camera interface, but this is not an optical zoom because the telephoto lens has been removed. But this will also provide in better low light photography because both the cameras work in tandem, producing some really good results. And actually you can see when you open the camera app and take low light pictures, you can see the camera going from one camera to another based on the conditions. So that's where OnePlus has improved in the camera department, providing a 16 and 20 megapixel camera with f-stop 1.7 aperture. We have a dual tone dual LED flash as well. Now on the front panel we have a 16 megapixel shooter. That's the same camera what we have seen on the OnePlus 5. It is f-stop 2.0 aperture and does a really good job with selfies. Now let's go straight into the camera interface. So you can see this is the camera interface of the OnePlus 5T. So we get to see additional options like auto HDR timer and aspect ratio. You can select between 18:9 aspect ratio, 1:1 and 4:3 aspect ratio for rare images. Here we have the beauty mode, and swiping up you can get to the portrait mode or the depth effect mode, and swiping to the bottom you get to see the video recording mode. And if you swipe from right to left, you get to see the additional modes: video, photo, portrait, slow motion, pro mode, time lapse and panorama. So these are the options included in the camera, and we have this option to switch to front facing camera. Now let's go straight into the camera samples. So all these photos I have taken in the auto mode, and we have turned on the auto HDR mode, and you can see that there is plenty of detailing in the photos when you are taking photos outdoor, and there is good color reproduction as well, and overall it feels like a really good camera out there. But we feel that the sharpness levels could have been a tad better, especially when you zoom in. You can see that it just seems a bit a blurry effect, but not all the times. But overall we feel this is definitely a good camera out there in this price segment. And if you also look at some of the close-up images taken, again really good color reproduction, and overall clarity looks pretty good. And with the dual camera you also get this portrait mode and the depth effect mode. Instead of having the telephoto lens, this has this regular lens, and this does a really good job with the portrait shots. The dynamic range of the photos also looks pretty good. When we took photos in auto HDR mode, it was pretty good and good for a phone in this price segment. So overall, in terms of the daylight conditions, the camera is able to perform pretty well, and overall we are pretty impressed with the camera offered on the OnePlus 5T, especially for the phone in this price segment. So if you're looking for a great smartphone in the sub 40k price segment, the OnePlus 5T is definitely one of the best options available right now. Now looking at the low light photos taken with this device, so that's where the improvement comes in. You get the two cameras, 16 and 20 megapixel camera with f-stop 1.7, allowing you to take a slightly better low light photographs compared to the OnePlus 5. And this is actually evident in the photos, and you can see that a good amount of detailing and noise has been kept to minimal, and overall the low light performance of the camera looked really good. And with f-stop 1.7, the detailing is also pretty good, and the light entering the photos is also pretty good for the phone in this price segment. So overall there has been an improvement in the low light photography on the OnePlus 5T when compared to OnePlus 5. So that's the low light performance of the OnePlus 5T. Now next up, let's have a look at the portrait shots. So this camera has this portrait mode where you can get some good portrait images with the dual camera setup, and with depth sensing algorithm working with the two cameras in tandem, we get actually really good portrait images. The edges are quite good and does the job pretty well with the portrait shots. So overall portrait photography is definitely a good aspect of the OnePlus 5T camera. Now next step, let's have a look at the video recording. So it can take videos in 1080p resolution with electronic image stabilization. There is also 1080p at 60 fps and also 4K recording. The 4K recording also supports EIS. And the electronic image stabilization works really well, and the quality is really good. You can't see any sort of shake, and it's really smooth performance, and one of the best we have seen in this price segment in terms of the video recording. And the EIS does the job pretty well both in 4K as well as 1080p resolution videos. So that's the video recording of the OnePlus 5T. Now next step, let's have a look at the selfie camera. So this camera comes with a 16 megapixel shooter, again with f-stop 2.0, and it does a quite good job with the selfies. There is no bokeh mode in the selfie department, but it does a really good job with the color reproduction, and overall looks quite good. It may not be a really great selfie focused smartphone, but if you're looking for a good selfies, this won't disappoint you with a really good selfie experience. There is also screen flash included in case you are taking some low light selfies. So overall there isn't anything drastic improvement in the selfie department, but it definitely is a good selfie camera in this price segment. So this video has been shot using the front facing camera on the OnePlus 5T. It's a 16 megapixel shooter capable of taking some really good selfies, and we are recording this video in 1080p resolution outdoor, and you can judge yourself how good the quality of the video is and also how good the audio output from the video is. So that is the camera review of the OnePlus 5T. So overall there has been an improvement in the camera, mostly in terms of the low light performance. You can see the dual camera setup, 20 and 16 megapixel camera with f-stop 1.7 producing slightly better low light experience, and the noise has been considerably reduced when compared to the OnePlus 5. So if you're looking for a good camera smartphone in the sub 40k price segment, this is definitely the best out there, and does a really good job in terms of the images. So if you're a OnePlus 5 user already, is it really worth to upgrade to OnePlus 5T, especially for the camera? We feel that's not a major upgrade. We feel that if you're already a OnePlus 5 user, OnePlus 5 already has a really good camera, and this is not a really worthy upgrade, especially for the camera alone. But if you want a full view display, the 6-inch full view display, if you want that, definitely it is an upgrade, because the OnePlus 5 has a 5.5 inches display. This has a full view 18:9 aspect ratio display. But for camera alone, OnePlus 5 to OnePlus 5T is not recommended, because it's almost the same performance except for the low light performance. So that's all guys with the detailed camera review of the OnePlus 5T. Hope you enjoyed watching this. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Hope to see you in our next video. This is Nirmal signing off. Thanks for watching.